Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video. Now welcome to another episode of spectating high-level play to kind of get a grasp of like some different champions. And now today we are going to be looking in at Volibear. I'm pausing it just for now just to explain. Normally when I go and do these episodes, which again, if you guys are enjoying them, please do throw a like on the video. It's pretty easy to find, obviously. If I'm looking for a Lee Sin, a Yasuo, whatever episode, there's an abundance of replays to choose from and you know, quite a few challenger, whatever level players. I have spent the last 15 minutes, I'd say, looking for a Volibear replay that I've gone to all, you know, on the lists of like who are the best Volibear players on EU West and all that, and it's been a mission to find. So I found this guy. His name is Horrible Camille, and he is a Camille main, but with Volibear as their second play champion. And was looking through their history, and yeah, I'd say a lot of games not doing great, but some games doing really well. There was no real big in-between, and that honestly could be a pretty telling thing for the new Volibear, that either they're going to pop off and kind of go nuts, or not going to really do that much as a champion. And if you even notice, by the way, the starting item of Volibear is a Doran's Blade. Like, that's the point, is the only way that I think you can do well with this champion is to play hyper aggro and make people kind of like, what the hell's going on? Why is this person so aggro? Because the champion doesn't do that well passively, is from what I've seen. And maybe you can play passive and scale, but if you're actually looking to do well in League of Legends, yeah, on Volibear nowadays, I think you need to have a more hyper aggro playstyle. So if we talk about the stats of this player, just to kind of give the lowdown, kind of like the Yasuo from last episode on High Rating Spectate, that this person isn't Challenger, they're currently in Master, but this person has a current 66% win rate in 200 games of solo queue. So clearly much better than a Master level player. They are still maintaining a high win rate even though they're Master. So this is probably at least a Grand Master level player, potentially even Challenger. And as for their actual stats, so as we mentioned, they are a Camille main, 120 games of Camille, 70% win rate, which is obviously very impressive. But then Volibear, 50 games, 57% win rate. So not as impressive, but a 57% win rate in 50 games is still pretty damn good. And what I kind of liked with this episode, that, you know, the idea of it anyway, against a Jax. So Jax is not an easy opponent to go in and fight and lane, especially for like a Volibear now, who is, you know, is auto-attack reliant. So level 1 fight, you can see straight away the Jax is trying to assert dominance. But this is where the problem may come with this Jax, is underestimating the Volibear's double W. So one of the reasons that I think the Volibear is so weak, and a lot of people have thought he's weak, is that in order to have a average trade with Volibear, you need to have 2 Ws land. You need to get your initial W on your opponent, and then you have to W again. So there's the initial one, and now he needs to W again. And a lot of the time, Volibear, in trades, meanwhile Jax is going aggressive, he just can't get the second W down. Meanwhile, the Jax potentially a little bit in trouble, and first blood for Volibear. So I don't think Jax played that very well, worth saying. You know, it was questionable. But Volibear does it well and does pick up the kill. Obviously can't stay around. There's a teleport coming in. Again, replays are still bugged. But you can't stay around and push it like you used to, because obviously the teleport has the new thing that gives crazy amount of movement speed, which I still don't know why. So Volibear is just going to go back. Obviously, still ahead in farm. And then as their next item, buys himself a Ruby Crystal, Tier 1 boots, and then probably, what, potion? He's probably going to wait for 2 potions. Oh no, he just teleported back. No sustain. He's bought no sustain. What you'll likely see moving forward now is continued aggression from Volibear, because he's got the lead, and again, Jax scales pretty damn well. He can't let that happen. So Jax has used his E already. There's the E into the stun, into the other, into the stun into Volibear's E. So Volibear gets the shield, and he gets the damage on the Jax. And overall, that was a good trade. So this is, in essence, I think how you have to play the new Volibear. You have to play it hyper-aggressive early. Obviously, yeah, getting first blood definitely is going to help with that. Jax going aggressive in the middle of minions and is just going to get killed before his jungler can arrive. Reminding people, this is high rating league. This is Master Plus level in the US. And you can see the Kayn is actually now potentially in trouble. Really close to getting that kill was Volibear. And honestly, I would not be surprised if Volibear goes for this dive. Will he get it? Boom! Gets the kill and surviving the tower hit too, because his initial W mark was still on the Kayn. The next W did bonus damage and it did heal the Volibear. So you can start to see, oh damn, this Volibear is looking pretty strong. Yeah, so snowballing on any champion obviously is the key to looking quite strong. You see Jax is playing, you know, arguably relatively angry. You know, he's 2 levels down. He's missing all farm. He's not going to get this kill. I doubt it. Oh, he does. Okay, that was very close of Volibear surviving that. If Volibear's cooldown on E was up, he should have E'd to walk into it a lot, like a second earlier. And then I think Volibear would have been fine. Very close, though. But you can see the Jax is playing a little bit angry. Bammy's purchase from Volibear. Still no sustain. Obviously, yeah, like, Volibear has an innate heal, like, built into his kit now. But no actual potion sustain is surprising. Buys Bammy's 2 cloth armors. Again, generally a good thing, cloth armor against Jax. But also, who's going to be ganking you? Kane, well, he's AD too. So it's going to help in that regard. Bammy's is an underestimated item for just general DPS, and this is something that this Jax is doing, by the way. Maybe he wants to go back and buy in a second, but he keeps... There's nice damage bomb. Oh, this could be a kill. Oh, close. The Jax keeps using his E to, like, power farm the minion wave, and that opens him up to the Volibear. You can see Volibear not interested in freezing this wave at all. He's using his passive AoE lightning to break the wave with Bammy's. Level 6 has now been hit. And now, obviously, a big power spike for Volibear. You've seen already a few times that there's, you know, very low health, and there's the tower. Well, now Volibear can disable the tower. That's obviously his ultimate. Is going to push in, though, gets all that farm, and then going to go not for tier 1 plate. Is he going to get one with the minions, though? Doesn't look like it. That is, I'd say, somewhat questionable to me. I'm pretty sure he could have got 1 plate and then ran away. So that's gold left on the table there. Goes back and just buys tier 2 boots. Damn, that's pretty quick tier 2 boots. Not surprising, because obviously he's a relatively slow champion, is what I'd say. You know, he's a running champion that did, you know, in the rework, they kept him kind of with a running champion. And if anything, I actually prefer the flip to the new stun. But there's that. And for those that are wondering, by the way, why was Volibear at least really bad on release? I kept saying it, and I'll say I kept saying it just out of feeling. I didn't look up the stats. But on base stats, Volibear had less health, less, you know, armor and stuff like that. Literally less, like, base stats than some AD carries in the game. Like, less health than I think it was like a Vayne or a Callista. And Volibear is supposed to be a hyper tank. And it was like, why does he have no stats? Like, no idea. But that's why he felt so weak, is because he was weak in the end of the day. Do I think, by the way, even with his stat buff, etc., is he going to be mainstream? The honest answer is no. I really don't. Like, you might see him in pro play, maybe, in a specific team comp that's all designed about tower diving. Because obviously, Volibear has an inbuilt tower disable, and that will be handy for a comp that wants to do tower dives. But other than that, honestly, no. Like, you know, he's cool. Like, this, obviously, his skin, this is the free skin, by the way, that you get if you own the old Volibear on live server, or, you know, on when he got released. It's a cool skin. He looks great. His kit is okay, but I just don't think in modern-day League of Legends he's fast enough, if that makes sense. Like, carry potential, you know, there's better carries than Volibear. Tank potential, there's Ornn. Like, where is his place? That's the problem. Yeah, I think his place is if you're doing a tower dive team comp. But other than that, I don't really know. But we'll see. Blue team does get a nice double kill in bot lane. Brings them back a little bit into the game. Obviously, red team having a slight advantage this game overall. With obviously red team's comp being... Well, it's a balanced comp technically because you've got AP damage from Evelynn. But obviously, if you take care of Evelynn or Evelynn doesn't get very strong, armor is going to be very effective versus red team here. Worth noting, though, Volibear does do some magic damage. There has been, and, you know, I haven't been ignoring it, there has been an AP Volibear build floating around. I mean, you know, I'm not a big... I think people would probably know. Like, I'm not a big fan of that. When he's legitimately designed to be a tank, in essence, that you have to play him in a weird AP playstyle. Some people will counter go, but Huzz, you like AP Shyvana. AP Shyvana's amusing. It's hilariously funny because it's not supposed to be a thing, technically. Like, the reason why it does so much damage is the scaling shouldn't be there, but it is there because, right, like, oh no, she's an AD bruiser champion, we'll give her some AP scaling, so, you know, it just does a little bit of damage. And then people were like, I'm gonna build a full AP, and Riot were like, oh, wait, what? And they kind of got caught out. They haven't changed it, which is a bit weird, but that's in essence the same as Volibear. He's designed as this thing. Maybe people could make AP work, but in the end of the day, if you're going to play AP Volibear, then you may as well play AP Shyvana. You know, especially in the jungle, she will just be a better version, pretty much. Maybe top lane AP Volibear, but then you've got obviously the other APs that can go, you know, in top 2. Vladimir, for example. Why wouldn't you just play Vlad? I don't know. Anyway, Volibear returning to top lane. Item build-wise, buys himself a Bammy. So he's going quite a component-heavy build. So he's not buying like a completed item, like a just boom, there's a Sunfire. He's buying components, which is not, you know, it's not the best thing ever, but it's fine in some circumstances. Some champions it's good to do, and then some instances like buying a Bammy's, that's also a good thing to do. Tower's been disabled, 2v2 happening in top lane. Evelyn going to go for the Jax. Is he going to go down? Evelyn in trouble. Does get one kill. Does the Volibear. The tower, by the way, is back. But Volibear keeps his ultimate even though the tower has been disabled. And Kayn will go down. Volibear will die in the end. But that was a 2v2. Both junglers, both top laners die. But it was interesting to see, at least. And what I will say is the Volibear ultimate was obviously okay, but it wasn't used for its job. By the time he ulted, they weren't fighting in tower. So maybe he could have held on to the ultimate a little bit, and then when the fight kind of finished, he could have gone back with his ultimate to go for the Kayn, and that may have made him survive. But, you know, it wasn't a bad situation. 2v2 is not terrible. Teleport play happening. You can see on the mini-map. Again, replays are bugged, so we just have to go off what's on the mini-map. Jax teleporting. Now, that's a questionable play by Jax, I would say, because he's very weak. Jax is a hyper-scaling champion, but he does pick up one kill. Volibear coming for the teleport play too. So both top laners down in bot lane, and they will get one kill. Can they get buy one, get one free? Kayn now coming, red Kayn, obviously. So it will be, in essence, a 1-for-1. But I'd say that's questionable from Jax more than Volibear. Jax, to me, should be just continuing going top lane and focusing on scaling as much as possible. Going for these big teleport plays when he's not in a position that, oh, I'm Jax, I'm strong, I've got Triforce. I think it's just risking Jax's mid to late game potential too much. And obviously, as a champion like Jax, you're always going to get there if the game goes long enough. But is the game going to go long enough if you're doing those risky plays? That's the thing. So Volibear now 521. Has a small bounty on his head. Gold-wise, has got 5.4 thousand gold comparing to Jax's 4.2. So Volibear has a 1.2 thousand, 1.1 thousand gold lead over his lane opponent, which is quite significant. Like, in the rest of the game, bot lane, is that the bigger difference? Yeah, so bot lane right now is the bigger difference between Aphelios and Kai'Sa because she's having a bad game. She's actually half farm. And I'd say that is the negative of going the tier Muramana build. It's the same with Kai'Sa. It's the same with Ezreal. Twitch are even doing it. Dravens are even doing it. You're insanely weak. Like, insanely weak if you're doing that build. And something like an Aphelios that can lane bully is just going to lane bully you, you know? Is going to deny you. All right, so what I'd say the Volibear is doing a really good job. That stun, by the way, nearly lasts a really long time. The Volibear is doing a good job baiting out the Jax's E. Let me just quickly, and I'm sure there'll be people that are interested in this. Shall we have a little research on the Jax as well, just to see what type of player this person is, just so we know while nothing is going on in the game. Again, I have to find the actual game that we're watching, which is more difficult than you think. Trust me, I looked through many files and pages and players to find this replay, so finding this again is actually proving to be difficult. There it is. Okay, this guy. It's a Jax one trick. Well, there you go. It's a diamond, a 60% win rate Jax one trick. Yeah. Again, not every game you're going to pop off, obviously, and, you know, a lot of Jaxes will have that mentality of, I'm a mid to late game hyper-scaling bruiser. I can just kind of wait and hold off. But I would say, you know, the Jax for being that kind of one-trick-esque, and you can see he might be going aggressive here. He is getting baited a lot with his E. Meanwhile, the fight's going to continue. Can Jax win this fight? Let's see. So, no E. Volibear ulting with the damage, with minions, has the W, has the stun, and Jax doesn't get killed. So, it's a bit weird. Like, if I was Jax, would I have taken that fight? No. You're a level down. You're a level down, and you should be focusing on scaling is the problem. And there's a bunch of minions. He had none, so he would have probably taken at least, what, 150, 200 damage there, just worth of minions. That can make the difference. So no, it's a bit confusing, some of the things that the Jax is doing, but you never know. that, you know, worth noting, every Volibear that I've seen myself in my own games have not done very well. And that is going to be the same for the vast majority of players in the game right now. Like, again, if I go on Volibear as a champion, Volibear's current win rate overall is 45.7%. Now, I know I tell people, you know, overall win rates aren't the best thing to go off. They're not the best thing to go off, but a 45.7% win rate is insanely low. That is a little bit telling that he's just a weak champion. Meanwhile, Volibear going to go aggressive. Does get the stun with the shield, walks through it. Will Diana actually go down here? Most likely. She uses his ultimate just to slow the Volibear, and he will not get the kill. So this could be very well. My point to just you know, defend the Jax a little bit. This may be the best Volibear this Jax has gone against. You know, again, starting Doran's Blade on Volibear is something that I've never seen someone do. And maybe he's just been a bit thrown off. Like, God, I've owned every Volibear that, you know, since the reworks come out, the Jax himself, and this Volibear is pretty good. It very well could be that, you know, thing. And that's why, by the way, it's the same concept about cheese picks. Why do cheese picks work? You know, a champion that doesn't belong in a role suddenly is popping off and goes legendary. A vast majority of the time, it's because the opponent of the cheese pick just doesn't know what it does. It's the strength level. Like, wait, what? It's that strong? 2-1 coming in top lane. Look at that damage. He does do half health. He's going to avoid, does flash out. Arguably, he may have been able to fight that, but I think it's better be safe than sorry. Screw that. See you later. I'm running away, which is never a bad thing either. Item build worth knowing is now building into a Triforce. So this is where maybe the more carry aspect of new Volibear's coming in. That, oh, I'm not building full tank. You know, I'll build full tank in lane phase. I'll get tanky. I won't really die that much. And now I'm going to get some carry potential, which would be from Triforce. Meanwhile, the Jax is on Romy. Is he going to get this kill? Probably not. Yeah, he's just a bit too weak. And meanwhile, Kayn does get the Aphelios. Volibear just kind of walking around. Arguably, he should probably focus on just pushing that because it's going to be very hard to kill a Kayn. But maybe he will. Who knows? Evelyn in the area does get the charm, but it doesn't land. That was weird. And Kayn will survive. So there's that. Volibear now making his way in bot lane to just push the wave, which is good. And yeah, so far, what are my thoughts about new Volibear? What, you know, and Kayn finally dies in the end. What, you know, watching this, does this change my mind about him at all? A little bit. So I think if I were to play him, and the reason, by the way, why I did this episode is, again, people have been asking me, Huz, where's Volibear? Where's your episode of Volibear on live? You only did PBE content. I only did PBE content because literally I thought he was insanely weak, and it was proved he is. But now that I'm kind of noticing this person and how they're playing, look at the aggression level. I think this is how I would have to play him. Literally, like, play him almost like a Darius. Because obviously, if you guys are unaware, Dariuses, a lot of them nowadays, are starting Doran's Blade as well, because you need a snowball on Darius. Turns out, you know, in the vast majority of meta top lane matchups, they do, a lot of them outscale Darius in a 1v1. Fiora, Camille, a lot of these champions will beat a Darius. So Darius needs to snowball, therefore has to take, or will take, Doran's Blade start. And that's maybe what this Volibear needs to do too. So if I were to play him soon, expect that playstyle. Probably a very similar item build. You know, Bramble Vest is incredibly potent, is what I'd say, in the current meta because of how unhealthy healing has become in League of Legends. Kayn fighting the Volibear, which I think is questionable. He's going to go for it, though. Probably Jax is on his way to kind of help. But let's see what happens. So Kayn, again, another very strong champion in League right now, gets killed. So I did say that was questionable. I don't know where Jax went. Like, he was in bot lane farming. If he went back, I have no idea. But that was weird. And worth noting, like, why are people taking these fights against, at the time, a 6-2 Volibear? Worth stressing, I literally think people are taking these fights because no one thinks Volibear is strong as a champion. We all do it, like, even subconsciously. If you're playing something meta, and, oh, I'm playing the best mid laner in the game right now, I'm against a pretty poop mid laner that nobody plays, you're going to play more aggressive. You're going to play more confident because, like, oh, I'm playing clearly a better champion. I think that's kind of what's happening with this Volibear, and that could be weirdly an advantage to good Volibear players right now. It's like, oh, you're going to try and fight me because you think I'm weak? Turns out I'm not that weak. So I think that partially could be the issue. Again, we did speak about healing being a problem in League of Legends. Well, watch Evelyn's health bar, everybody. Watch it magically rise back to full health because for some reason that's healthy. No idea why that's a thing. Anyway, going to go for aggressive play on the Kayn. They're going to go for the crab fight. Obviously, Kayn right now has no idea Evelyn was in the area. Now he does because she showed. And now Rift Herald is going to be fought over. They don't have long to kill this. They have about 20 seconds before Baron will eat the Rift Herald pretty much. Can they do this in time? It looks like they probably will get away with it. And they do. Obviously with also Rakan's help. And yeah, any second they do get it, which is good. What I'd like to see probably from Red Team is grouping. So that's the big thing with Volibear. Well, there's two ways to arguably play the new Volibear, obviously. You either play him as a grouping champion that tower dives with your team because you deny the towers, or you play him as a split pusher, and obviously you can dive in split push because you can disable the towers. Meanwhile, Volibear, gonna ult, doesn't get anything yet, does get the stun, will go for the Kai'Sa, nothing so far, obviously. Wow, nice kill by Aphelios. Tower's still going to be working because obviously for Volibear to disable a tower, he has to land on one. I have heard some people ask for maybe to make a better version of his ultimate, maybe just have it as a presence. Oh, Volibear is nearby in his ultimate. Oh, that tower gets disabled for 2 seconds instead of landing on it. That might help, potentially. But they do get the inhibitor with the help of Rift Herald, so a great use of Rift Herald there. That, by the way, whole play was out Yasuo. Yes, there is a Yasuo in this game, but he hasn't really done that much. It has really been more the Volibear and Evelyn show, which is kind of cool. And Volibear, a lot of the time, is making his own plays. He hasn't been reliant on Evelyn at all. Now, I'm a bit confused what's going on here. I don't know why they'd sit in the area. Volibear goes for a flash with the Aphelios damage. Jax on the back foot does get taunted. Jax going a bit aggressive with the Kayn knockup. Volibear getting full CC'd. Will he survive with the healing? And Kayn now is probably in trouble. Volibear survives. And there we go. And I think Red Team is just looking to end the game, if I'm honest. They're going to wait for super minions, which will be coming. And maybe they'll look to end, or maybe they'll rotate over to Baron any second. Volibear gold update has got only 800 gold in his pocket right now. That's less than I thought, but like, you know, the Aphelios has got 2.6 thousand. So just to make it clear in replays, this number is how much money they currently have on the champion, and the number in the bracket is how much total gold they've earned. So you can see Volibear right now has got nearing 3,000 gold over the enemy Jax in total. Bot lane as well, near enough 3,000 as well. So those are the two biggest differences. And also jungle, I'd say, is probably, yeah, not as big a difference, but still pretty big. But top lane, massive difference between Volibear and the Jax. Buys himself a Spectre's Cal, does the Volibear. Probably going to be a Spirit Visage. Obviously, as a champion, he did lose his healing passive, but Volibear still heals a lot with his W. And obviously, Spirit Visage, increasing your healing, is never going to be a bad item. Evelyn gets a nice snipe on the Kai'Sa, even though the Yuumi was connected to her. Again, the Kai'Sa has not recovered this game at all. Has not even got a completed Manamune into a Muramana yet. Then actually hasn't got her Rage Blade yet. So this is a very weak Kai'Sa. You know, nearing 100 farm down as well. You know, 80 farm down to the Aphelios too. So Volibear going for some split pushing. Which is fine. You know, Volibear probably didn't predict his team would just walk into the enemy base and get a couple of kills. Jax does get a return kill though on the Evelyn, and now the enemy team is looking to end. So yeah, Volibear rotating over. Base tower's going to go down. Kai'Sa going aggressive. Tower's been disabled, and Volibear's just massive. Like, look how big this champion is. Volibear now tanking tower. The tower has returned, and you can see the Kayn has gone AFK, which is very common here, well, in solo queue, I think in general nowadays. We're losing the game, even though maybe you can recover it. I'm going AFK, see you later. Yasuo double knock up with the Rakan, nice kill there. Kayn's back, and that will probably be the game. So that is Volibear. I'd say we learned a little bit about the champion, and what we learned is he's not insanely weak. You just have to play him aggressive. You have to get ahead in the early game, and I think that is the ticket. If you play passive, you can very easily kind of just be left alone, and he can't really do that much. But he played aggressive in the early when Doran's Blade got that first blood and played overall pretty well, ran at people, got his W. As a part of it might be the Jax didn't have a great game, and I think he didn't have a great game because maybe the Jax was being a bit overconfident into a Volibear. That might be part of it. So in time, it sounds weird, but Volibear in this playstyle that, oh, you have to play him aggressive, weirdly could actually get weaker over time when people learn, oh, if he starts Doran's Blade, just don't fight him in the early game and you'll beat him anyway. Like, that possibly could be it. But that's going to be it. That was Volibear. We learned a little bit about the champion. It's good to see Volibear having a good game, though. As I said at the beginning, I really had to try and find a game that was worth doing and seeing like an okay performance on Volibear, because there's not many around. A lot of what I will also say, when I was looking up lists of players that play Volibear, a lot of the players that obviously have played Volibear previously, because their stats haven't gone away, are not playing this new version. They've dropped the champion since the rework. So that's a bit like, oh, okay. But that's going to be it. If you guys did enjoy it, throw a like on it, throw a subscribe, comment below. Let me know what champions you want to see in these high-level replays, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.